I, 19M, normally don't post much on Reddit, but I need advice about something that's been eating at me. My girlfriend Molly, 19F, and I have been together for 3 years, dating since we were 16. We fell in love in high school when we met in chemistry class. She was the new student and I helped her catch up with the coursework. Things moved pretty quickly after that and we started dating within a few months. Let me give some background about us. Molly moved to our town with her mom after her parents' divorce. Her dad stayed in their hometown about 2 hours away. She visits him every other weekend. Her best friend Amy, 19F, still lives in their hometown, and they've been inseparable since elementary school. Even after Molly moved, they talked every day and Amy would visit at least twice a month. Molly has always been really close to Amy, to the point where sometimes it felt like Amy knew more about what was going on in Molly's life than I did. They have this weird way of communicating where they finish each other's sentences and have all these inside jokes from their childhood. I never had an issue with their friendship until recently. Amy started dating my best friend Mike, 20M, about 6 months ago after meeting him at one of our group hangouts. Mike and I go way back. We met in 7th grade when we were paired up for a science project. He was the class clown and I was the quiet kid, but somehow we just clicked. We spent countless hours playing video games, practicing for the school baseball team, and helping each other with homework. When my parents got divorced when I was 14, Mike was there for me every step of the way. His family basically adopted me. I had dinner at their house 3 times a week, went on their family vacations, and his mom even came to my baseball games when my own parents were too busy fighting to show up. Molly and Mike never really hung out much before Amy came into the picture. They were friendly at group events, but that was about it. After Amy started dating Mike, suddenly they were texting all the time and hanging out without me or Amy around. Molly said they were just becoming better friends because of Amy, and I tried to be cool with it. My birthday was last month and Molly had been building it up for weeks. She kept saying she had something really special planned and that it would be a day I'd never forget. She was constantly dropping hints about surprises and telling me to clear my entire schedule. I was pretty excited since Molly usually goes all out for special occasions. Last year she organized a surprise party and got all our friends together for a weekend camping trip. The day of my birthday started weird. Molly barely texted me all morning, which was unusual since she normally floods my phone with birthday messages and cute pictures. Around 2 p.m. she finally texted telling me to meet her at this motel on the edge of town at 3 p.m. I thought it was kind of sketchy. This wasn't some nice hotel, it was one of those hourly rate places truckers use. But I figured maybe she was trying to be spontaneous and romantic. When I got there, she was already waiting in the parking lot. The first thing she did was ask me to split the cost of the room. I was confused since she had been talking about this big birthday surprise for weeks. She said something about being short on cash because she bought me another gift, which I never received, by the way. I paid to avoid making it awkward, but it felt weird. Things started getting intimate, but she kept checking her phone every few minutes. She said she needed to get home by 5 p.m. for a family dinner. I felt really uncomfortable being rushed like that. Every time I tried to slow things down and make it romantic, she would check the time and hurry me along. The whole thing felt mechanical and impersonal. I couldn't even finish because she was so focused on leaving. It was like I was just a task she needed to complete before moving on to something more important. When we left, she seemed really happy and excited, almost giddy. She gave me a quick kiss goodbye and practically ran to her car. I felt used and empty inside. This wasn't how I imagined spending my birthday with someone I love. Later that night when we were texting, she noticed I was being quiet and asked what was wrong. I told her honestly how I felt, that I was hurt she rushed through what was supposed to be a special birthday surprise and made me pay for half of my own gift. She apologized but seemed more annoyed than sorry, like I was being too sensitive about the whole thing. The next day at school made everything worse. I overheard Molly telling Amy that she had plans to meet Mike that afternoon to work on a group project. This caught my attention because I know their schedules pretty well, and they don't have any classes together this semester. When I asked Mike about it later, he got really defensive and said I was being paranoid and needed to trust Molly more. It's been a month now and Molly keeps trying to get me to go back to that motel. Every time I refuse, she apologizes again for my birthday but then gets angry when I won't go. Yesterday she had another tantrum about it and said I was being unreasonable for holding a grudge. She said I was making her feel guilty over nothing and that I needed to get over it. I love Molly and want a future with her, but something feels off. She's changed in the past few months. She's always been protective of her phone, but now she practically jumps if I walk behind her while she's texting. She makes excuses to leave early when we hang out, saying her mom needs help with something or she has homework to finish. She's spending more and more time with Mike working on projects but gets defensive if I ask what they're studying. The worst part is how our friend group is starting to act weird around me. People get quiet when I walk up, or they change the subject suddenly. Amy barely makes eye contact with me anymore. Even Mike, my best friend since middle school, seems distant and uncomfortable when we hang out alone. I don't want to be that jealous boyfriend who doesn't trust his girlfriend, but my gut is telling me something isn't right. The birthday thing might seem small, but it feels like a symptom of a bigger problem. Molly is pulling away from me and I don't know why. What should I do? Please don't suggest breaking up, we've been through too much together and I really want to make this work. I just need advice on how to move past this and rebuild trust. Am I overthinking all of this? Should I just let the birthday thing go and trust that everything is fine? Update 1 first, I want to thank everyone who commented on my last post. You all gave me a lot to think about. Many of you said I should trust my gut feelings, and unfortunately, you were right. Things have gotten more complicated, and I need to vent about what's been happening. A few days after my post, I started noticing some strange patterns. Molly and Mike both stopped posting on social media around the same times. At first, I thought I was being paranoid, but then I started keeping track. When Molly told me she was busy with family dinner, her Instagram showed she was at a local cafe, the same cafe where Mike had checked in 10 minutes earlier. When she said she was studying at the library, both their social media would go quiet for hours. I tried to ignore it until last weekend when something happened at the mall. Our whole friend group was hanging out at the food court, me, Molly, Mike, Amy, and a few other friends from school. Everything seemed normal until Amy mentioned something that caught my attention. Amy was talking about trying this new bubble tea place last week. She said something like, "I was so surprised to see Mike and Molly there when I was supposed to be having lunch with just Molly. You could have cut the tension with a knife." Molly practically choked on her drink and shot Amy this death glare. Mike suddenly became very interested in his phone. Amy quickly changed the subject, but the damage was done. That night, I started really paying attention to Molly's social media. She had been untagging herself from several recent group photos that had Mike in them. When I asked her about it, she claimed she just didn't like how she looked in those pictures. But these were photos she had previously liked and commented on. Some of them were weeks old. Why untag herself now? I know what I did next was wrong, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was going on. While Molly was in the bathroom at my house, I checked her phone. She had left it face down on my desk while she went to shower. She never leaves her phone unattended, so this seemed like a sign from the universe. What I found made me sick to my stomach. There were deleted text messages between her and Mike going back months. They weren't explicitly romantic, but they were definitely flirty. Lots of heart emojis, inside jokes about things I'd never heard of, and late night conversations about how well they understand each other. Some messages were about meeting up for coffee or studying, always at times when they told me and Amy they were busy with other things. But the messages from my birthday were the worst. While I was waiting for her at that sketchy motel, she was texting Mike about meeting up right after. She was literally rushing through my birthday gifts so she could go see my best friend. There were messages about how excited she was to see him and how she just needed to take care of something first. That something was me. She treated our intimate moment like it was a chore she needed to finish before getting to what she really wanted to do. When Molly got out of the bathroom, I confronted her about the texts. She completely flipped the script on me. First, she broke down crying, saying they were just friends and I was being paranoid. Then she got angry, saying I had violated her trust by going through her phone. She said I was being controlling and that she was allowed to have male friends. I asked her why she needed to delete messages if they were just friends. She said she deleted them because she knew I would overreact exactly like this. She turned everything around on me, making me feel like I was the bad guy for not trusting her. Maybe she's right, maybe I crossed a line by checking her phone. But those messages keep playing in my head. The fallout has been intense. Mike isn't speaking to me now. When I tried to talk to him about it at school, he said I was being crazy and possessive. He said I was ruining our friendship with my paranoia and that he would never do anything to hurt me. But if that's true, why is he meeting my girlfriend behind my back? Amy is caught in the middle trying to stay neutral, but I can tell she knows more than she's saying. Every time I try to talk to her about it, she makes excuses to leave. The one time I cornered her after class, she said she didn't want to get involved and that maybe I should trust Molly more. Coming from Molly's best friend, that felt like a slap in the face. The whole friend group is divided now. Some people think I'm being paranoid and controlling. Others have started acting weird around me, like they know something I don't. A couple of friends have pulled me aside to ask if I'm okay, giving me these pitying looks that make me feel even worse. Molly is now telling everyone that I'm the problem, that I'm possessive and jealous and that she can't even have male friends without me freaking out. She's conveniently leaving out the part about the deleted messages and secret meetups. Mike is backing up her story, telling people I've changed and become controlling. I feel like I'm going crazy. Was I wrong to check her phone? Should I have just trusted her? Everyone keeps telling me I'm overreacting, but my gut tells me there's more going on. I keep replaying everything in my head, all the times she was too busy to hang out, all the group projects that never seemed to end, all the weird tension when Mike was around. I love Molly, and I've known Mike since we were kids. I want to believe they wouldn't betray me like this. But the evidence is piling up, and I don't know what to think anymore. Even if nothing physical is happening between them, the secret messages and meetups feel like a different kind of betrayal. What should I do now? How do I handle losing both my girlfriend and my best friend at the same time? Should I confront them both together? I'm lost and could really use some advice. Update 2: I wish I had listened to everyone who told me to trust my gut. Everything blew up yesterday in the worst possible way. All those suspicions I had? They weren't paranoia. They weren't me being controlling. They were my instincts trying to warn me about what was really going on. After my last update, things got even more tense. Molly started telling people I was stalking her, twisting the story about me checking her phone into something much darker. Mike backed up her lies, telling our friends I had changed and become obsessive. I lost several friends who chose to believe them over me. Yesterday, I finally decided to go to Mike's house to try to clear the air. His mom let me in like she always had. I was practically her second son after all these years. She had no idea what had been going on. Mike was in his room, and when I walked in, he looked surprised but not exactly unhappy to see me. We started talking about everything that had happened. He kept insisting that I was imagining things, that he would never betray me like that. He brought up all our history, how he helped me through my parents' divorce, all the summers we spent together, all the secrets we shared. He looked me in the eye and swore nothing was going on between him and Molly. I almost believed him. I wanted to believe him so badly. This was Mike, my best friend since middle school. The guy who punched Tommy Wilson in 8th grade for making fun of me when my parents split up. The guy who taught me how to drive in his dad's old pickup truck. The guy who helped me ask Molly out in the first place. Then Molly showed up unannounced. She walked into Mike's room without knocking, like she'd done it 100 times before. When she saw me, she froze. The look that passed between her and Mike said everything I needed to know. But I still wasn't prepared for what came next. Maybe it was the guilt, or maybe they were just tired of lying, but they finally confessed. They'd been seeing each other behind my back for months. That rushed birthday gift at the motel? She had plans to meet Mike right after. All those group projects? Just excuses to spend time together. Those deleted messages I found? Just the tip of the iceberg. It started 3 months ago, they said, like that somehow made it better. They didn't mean for it to happen. They developed feelings while spending time together because of Amy. They felt guilty but couldn't help themselves. Each excuse made me feel sicker than the last. The worst betrayal came next. Amy knew the whole time. My girlfriend's best friend, who had been dating my best friend, knew they were sneaking around behind my back. She helped cover for them, made excuses for them, even ran interference when I got suspicious. She didn't want to get involved because she didn't want to lose Mike or Molly. Some friend she turned out to be. Apparently, everyone in our friend group knew except me. All those weird looks, the sudden silences when I walked up, the pitying glances, they all knew. They watched me spiral into paranoia, watched me question myself, watched me try to fix a relationship that was already dead, and no one said a word. I lost it. All the anger, all the hurt, all the betrayal of the past months came rushing out. I punched Mike, my best friend since middle school. The guy I trusted most in the world. I hit him again and again, years of friendship turning to rage in seconds. Molly was screaming at me to stop, but all I could see was red. Mike's parents came running in and his dad had to pull me off him. They called the cops but I left before they arrived. My knuckles are bruised and I might have broken one finger, but I don't care. Physical pain feels better than what's in my chest right now. I have dozens of missed calls and messages. Molly keeps texting from different numbers after I blocked her, begging me to let her explain. Mike's mom called crying, asking what happened to make her boys fight like this. Amy sent this long paragraph about how sorry she is and how she should have told me sooner. I haven't responded to any of them. How do you process this level of betrayal? The 2 people I trusted most in the world went behind my back for months. My entire friend group watched it happen and said nothing. Every memory of the past few months feels tainted now. Every time Molly was busy, every time Mike couldn't hang out, every group gathering where they sat a little too close, it was all a lie. I don't know what to do now. I've lost my girlfriend, my best friend, and most of my friend group in one day. Everything I thought I knew about my life feels like a lie. Where do you even go from here? Update 3. This is my final update on this whole mess. A lot has happened in the past 2 months, and I think it's time to close this chapter of my life. Molly and Mike went public with their relationship 3 weeks after everything blew up. They didn't even try to be subtle about it. Their Instagram accounts are full of couple pictures, at restaurants, at parties, at all our old hangout spots. They post captions about how love finds a way and how sometimes good things come from bad situations. Mike even had the nerve to post about how sometimes you have to lose a friend to find your soulmate. The worst part? They're trying to rewrite history. Molly posted this long statement about how she never meant to hurt anyone, but she and Mike had this connection they couldn't ignore. She talked about how they tried to fight their feelings out of loyalty to me, but love was stronger. She made it sound like some romantic movie where 2 star-crossed lovers finally found their way to each other. She conveniently left out the part about lying and sneaking around for months. Amy broke up with Mike right after everything came out. She sent me a long email apologizing for keeping their secret. She said she was caught between her loyalty to Molly and doing the right thing. Now she's posting cryptic quotes about karma and how the truth always comes out. Too little, too late if you ask me. Some of our mutual friends tried to play peacemaker. They kept coming to me with messages from Molly and Mike, saying they wanted to explain everything properly. A few even suggested we all sit down together and talk it out. Like there's anything left to say after months of lies and betrayal. I went completely no contact with all of them. Blocked them on every platform. Changed my phone number. Unfollowed anyone who was still friends with them. Some people called me petty for this, said I was being dramatic. But I'm done having these people in my life. You don't get to betray someone like that and expect forgiveness. The charges for assaulting Mike were dropped. His parents didn't want to press charges given our history, and Mike probably felt too guilty. His mom still sends me messages sometimes, saying she misses her second son and wishes things could go back to normal. I haven't responded. Normal doesn't exist anymore. I'd be lying if I said I was completely over it. Some days are harder than others. I still have moments where something reminds me of Molly or Mike, and it feels like getting punched in the gut all over again. But those moments are getting less frequent. I'm focusing on myself now. Started going to the gym regularly, turns out anger is great workout motivation. Picked up rock climbing, something I'd always wanted to try but Molly thought was too dangerous. Made new friends in my classes who don't know anything about the drama. Even started casually dating someone from my sociology class, though I'm taking things very slowly. The silver lining in all this? I learned some valuable lessons. Trust your instincts when something feels off. Don't let people gaslight you into thinking you're crazy or paranoid. And most importantly, don't waste time trying to fix relationships with people who don't respect you enough to tell you the truth. To everyone who told me to trust my gut in my first post, thank you. You saw what I was trying so hard not to see. Sometimes the red flags are there for a reason, and the worst thing you can do is ignore them. I won't be updating this story again. Molly and Mike are just characters in my past now, a cautionary tale about trust and betrayal. Life goes on, and honestly, it's going better without them in it.